I'm Matthew Malcolm with American Vineyard Magazine, reporting to you here today from the 58th annual meeting of the Raisin Bargaining Association in Easton. I'm here with Charles Salmon. He's the chairman of the association. We've had some interesting years, and one of the highlights at your meeting, I think you mentioned, was that the U.S. government was the second largest purchaser of California raisins this past year, and is well groomed to do so again this coming year. So tell us about that and some of the activities of the RBA.
Yeah, absolutely. So the RBA was very instrumental in 2023 in getting the government on board to purchase California product. They purchased a little over $72 million in 2023. Dwayne Cardoza, which is the third vice for the RBA, he is very instrumental. He's got a lot of contacts with Washington, D.C. This morning I had him give a small report, and it is very apparent that the United States Department of Agriculture is very, very pleased at being our industry's number 2 customer in 2024.
That's awesome. You mentioned this past, December 31st, your main office downtown Fresno got closed, and so wanted to hear your input on the reason for that, and we understand that you're operating and kind of moving your headquarters to the receiving station that the RBA put into place. Was it a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, this is our 4th year. So it was very instrumental that when we had the theory of the receiving station, the main thought is to let the growers have the ability to keep their product in their own possession. So possession is 9/10 of the law, right? So we started the receiving station. In the last couple of years, we've had our office downtown. We've had the receiving station. So it was pretty simple. We had a lot of overhead, so we eliminated overhead. It was really good. We're all raisin farmers. We all get a little dirt on our boots, right? It's a little intimidating if you went downtown to our office. It's a nice big fancy building. The doors open and close by themselves. You got to pay to park. So now we're at the receiving station, and I think it'll be really comfortable for our membership. They can go in with a little dirt on their boots, and they can talk to Cheryl. They can talk to me. They can pick up forms. They can deliver their fruit. And that was really the main thing when we decided to consolidate is the receiving station is a very, very, it's a small piece, but it's part of the vertebrae of what we're doing. We need the receiving station to keep moving the ball forward. And I would encourage any growers, if you're not an RBA member, it costs nothing to be an RBA member. Our receiving station this year, we've already paid our growers in full. We sold all the fruit, 100% cash in hand, paid our growers. And I don't think there's any packers that have done that on individual contracts this year.
Well, the receiving station, as reported today, was partially, in big part, responsible for, helping to negotiate a price, because you're holding the raisins for the growers instead of sending them straight to the packer, so that you can negotiate a price before they turn them over. Right? That's the idea.
Yeah, correct. It is once again, possession's 9/10 of the law. So if at the receiving station, the more fruit we have, the more leverage we have. And what helped us really get started this year was as we had some fruit left over from the 2022 crop, and we had a couple of packers that were very, very interested in that fruit. So we got to elevate the price from that for the future fruit. So it was a really good thing. And like I said, if you got fruit still in the barn today, I could probably peddle it for you. We in 2023 we reestablished a lot of relationships with the packers. I feel really good moving into 2024.
Right. And what was your price for? You negotiated an MOU and a price for several of the packers this past year. Weren't able to get all of them on board, but what you did accomplish here, what was the price?
Yeah, we got 6 MOUs out of 9. It was $1,850 all in minimum price. which
Great.
which was very well accepted today at the meeting also.
Yeah, and also today you mentioned how, we need to drive higher prices for our raisin growers to remain sustainable, but we want to do it at a smaller, like incremental increase, so that we're not going back and forth between these record high prices and then followed by record low prices. We just can't afford to have this happening in the future. So it sounded like from your presentation today that's what you're looking for as chairman, your goal. And I think the Packers would be on board with that too. We need some consistency.
Yeah, it was all about consistency. And, I made the comment that, I could probably be the most hated guy in the room because everybody always wants to sell their stuff for the highest price possible. But, if you're only doing it for 1 year, yeah, you want the highest price possible. But, when you have an investment in your land, or if it's generational and you're going to be doing it for years and years to come, wouldn't you rather have some consistency? And the consistency that the industry needs right now is a consistency on an upward scale, because we have to get to the point to where we can sustain the farmers, and we haven't done that. So rather than have these huge spikes and these huge downfalls, my theory is let's take it at a 5 to 7 to 9% increase, and if we have a really killer year, if we have a bumper crop, we're going to have a 5 to 7 to 9% decrease. No more of these huge 2150s and these horrible 11s. You can't do it.
Well, hey, thank you for your leadership and your support of the industry here. Read more about these things in American Vineyard Magazine. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.